Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Monogatari. Tonight we're on episode 9 of Koyomimonogatari. So, what happened in the last one? That is a phenomenal question. Last episode was our Ogi Shrine nonsense episode. Basically, it literally, Ogi's just walking up the mountain with Araragi up to the shrine. I don't even know why exactly did we bring Ogi up there, or did Ogi bring Araragi up there? Like, they talked about the shrine, and I guess Ogi was analyzing the talisman that Oshino told Araragi to put there. So I guess that might have been like the specific point. Maybe there was like a conversation, of them talking about that talisman that brought them there. But either way, some of the big bits that we got was that the shrine is the second incarnation of its name, in that the previous shrine was a thing, and then it was rebuilt here using new materials up on the mountain, right? And there was a little bit of like a puzzle, which was kind of the punchline of like how that were to occur. Of the whole, like, it didn't get friggin' Amish carried up the mountain, it just, a new version of it was built using the trees on top of the mountain, right? Ogi doesn't like that. Ogi, I think, describes it as, quote, like, an extreme annoyance that the history of the shrine was that way, and kind of refers to, like, or I think Araragi says this, and then Ogi agrees, that it's, like, the foundation of the shrine is on a mistake, or is, like its very foundation is a mistake, so, like, the end result of what it leads to would also be problematic because it's founded on a foundation, or founded on a cracked foundation, or like founded on a lie, if you want to kind of run it through the Ogi lens, because Ogi all about them liars. So yeah, let me just boom get the comments for the last episode on the screen. Yeah, I'll just start at the top and go down. Good old, why has he got his eyes closed? Open up your eyes. There we go, much better. Ooh, symbology layer of locations. That's gonna be... Bro, it's gonna be crazy. I already know it's gonna be crazy because I'm like... There's so many locations and I just have no idea. But, the kind of... Let me just read some of this real quick of like... I think this is an interesting... sequence of events, I guess I could say, that has to do with the shrine. Where, we hear that the bad things started gathering at the shrine because of Shinobu, or like Kiss Shot, she really OP, so all the things kind of followed her. But then Kaiki also brought up that Shinobu was drawn to the town because of the bad things, so who's to say, it's kind of like a chicken and the egg, put the horse behind the cart, or put the cart ahead of the horse kind of thing. Where, like, who's to say the order of those events? I feel like you could try to maybe, like, take the events of, like, the bad things in the shrine and Shinobu, and try to very directly make it make it a statement on Araragi and his relationship with Shinobu. Because, like, to continue, Ogi said, to which Araragi thinks, naturally, as on the last day of summer vacation, Shinobu and I had completely refreshed the place, which was them doing the, like, little time travel thing in Kabuki. Yeah, Kabuki right there. Which then is the turn of them having, like, a better, like, stronger, or, like, a better relationship, I'll just say, between the two of them. So... that is because then it became refreshed and the energy kind of dissipated. So I almost want to say, like, could we say that there was some bad energy in the area that brought Shinobu in, right? That's kind of what Kaiki brings up, right? So that's almost like saying, okay, like, if I want to make the shrine an analogy for, like, Araragi in some way, then it'd be like, okay, Araragi, even before meeting Shinobu, or like Kiss Shot in the freaking subway, even before that point, there was some bad stuff going around. There was some bad juju in the air. There were some things with Araragi going on that were negative that then Shinobu was attracted to, in a sense. And I think I like that idea already. And I think I feel like that works with kind of what we've talked about before. And then Shinobu comes in, Kiss Shot comes in, and that relationship happens, and then from that more bad things happen, which is like, boom, that's Kabuki, or is it called Kabuki? No, Kizu, sorry. That's Kizu hitting, which causes Araragi to go vamp mode, and then lots of turmoil out of that, right? And lots of, like, consequence from that for Araragi, I don't think I need to go into the many different pains that Araragi has gone through, and, like, the changes Araragi has gone through past that point. But then bad things start to gather in the place. So it goes from it's like fishing. Okay? There were problems that Shinobu Kiss Shot was attracted to with bait, and then Shinobu bites onto the bait. You can say the bait's a donut if you want to be thematically or like characterly appropriate. Shinobu's baited it, or Kiss Shot's baited in by this bad energy, and then bites the line, and then becomes the bait for more bad energy. You know, like that's what you would do with fishing sometimes, where you catch a small fish and then use it as bait for a bigger fish. That's Shinobu. That's Kiss Shot into Shinobu. Right? As an analogy for Araragi's, like, he was already in a bad space, but then met Kiss Shot somewhat because of that bad space, which then led to things getting worse. But then eventually we've, like, repaired that relationship somewhat. Or not repaired, but, like, bettered that relationship somewhat, which was through Kabuki. And so now we're back to, like, okay, the shrine is still a mess, but at least, like, the bad energy isn't growing here anymore. But it doesn't mean that the shrine's fine. Like, it's like we've put a Band-Aid. Like Kizu was the bleeding wound that happened that we put a Band-Aid on, but there's still someone with a knife. You get my, you know? There's still a reason the wound happened, right? Some guy runs up to Araragi and shanks him with zap, and that's Kiss Shot, is the wound that from the shank, right? And then in fixing it up the place with Kabuki, that's us bandaging the wound. But guess what? There's still a guy with a knife in front of us. There's still a problem. That's kind of where I would take it. And so that's just me sending it like full Araragi. I feel like there's like more ways we can take that, though I don't know them. That's the best idea I have off the top. Well, I have like a couple other like analogies I want to bring up. That I have a little note document in my other screen. But that's like at least what I would do with like the Shinobu Araragi relationship idea here. But yeah, so I thought that was good. Oh, even bing, give it a little heart. We love the timeline. We love it. You know what? I'm feeling hearty today. Another one. Okay, no, I'll calm down. I'll stop. We just love a timeline update. We are right up in here. Koyomi Mountain, bro. White Snake of the North was apparently just translation moment. And it's exactly this. Like, they were calling it the Shirahibi Shrine or whatever most of the time. And then they, like, completely changed it. So I thought that was, like, important. But yeah, translator moment. It is what it is. You know, that's how it goes. That's how it goes. There's two comments here that talked about Ship of Theseus, which I loved. I didn't even think about that. In which case, I mean, go look up Ship of Theseus. Do I need to explain Ship of Theseus? I'll explain Ship of Theseus. I'll make it quick. I'm like, you have a boat, and then parts fall off the boat because it's out on the waters and it's tumultuous seas, woomba woomba. And we take all the parts that fall off and we put them to the side and we replace them with new parts. And if we do that a bunch, so much so that there's no original parts left, then it's like, okay, well, we've repaired the boat so much that like all the original parts are gone. But then what if we take all the original parts and we reconstruct a boat out of the original parts? Now we have two ships of Theseus, you know? The one made out of the original parts and then the one that like had the through line the entire time. Whoa, how did that happen? So yeah, the shrine in this case would be like it's interesting because like it's similar to Ship of Theseus, of course, but I mean, there is a distinction in that there's no original pieces of the shrine, of the original shrine in this new shrine, right? I mean, perhaps, I feel like I think they might have said that, like, perhaps there's, like, a few objects of worship. I think Nadeko might have said that. But, like, no, like, foundational pieces of wood or anything were brought up. Like, maybe a few, like, special incenses or something. I don't freaking know. Or, like, a special plaque. But, you know, like, so it is kind of different a little bit there. But just in that it holds the identity, right? Like, what part of the shrine would you have to move to essentially keep its identity as the same shrine, or which part holds said identity? Like, identity being kind of the key word. That's definitely what this new one has. It has the original's identity now. It's like, what's up with that? The comparison to the snake fits really well as too here, because the snake, as Araragi said and Ogi agreed, is like rebirth and immortality in that, like, the shedding of the skin. It's like this new shrine location, this new incarnation of the shrine, is like the past layer of the snake's skin has shed it off, and this is the new layer. This is the new snake that kind of came out of that. You know, there's like a comparison you can make there. Though the analogies, like when we're fighting with two analogies, it starts to get a little muddy, perhaps. But yeah, and so we could try to tie it to like growing up, in which case of like what part of yourself do you have to carry to adulthood, your beliefs perhaps, what parts do you leave behind, the shedded snake skin, you know. Which part of your identity should you keep alive, etc., etc.? Would it be correct or mistaken, as Ogi puts it? Yeah, 100%. I really do like that idea. Making it about growing up. I mean, I just throw out growing up as an idea, and then like I like these kind of continuings of that idea, because I mean that's like the core. I feel like that's a large part of the core of Monogatari. Like someone described it to at one point in a comment of like Monogatari, or maybe in a Discord message or something. Monogatari is a story about growing up, you know, and that was like, can you hear that freaking motorcycle? Yo, shut up. But you know, like growing up, I feel like when you view it in that lens, it does hit pretty hard. And like especially with all the stagnation and the breaking out of that and those kinds of things, and like relationships with the family and such, blah 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 blah. But yeah, so maybe I'm just kind of running into my own bias of what I'm expecting the analogy to represent. But I do think there is something to be said there for sure. Apparently there's an extra OP. I think I asked that after OWI season 1. Is that Awari? I don't know what that is. But yeah, I mean, I'll watch an extra OP. That sounds pog. Just, yeah, I'm sure somebody, we can get like an exact time to watch that, and then I'm down. Because that'll be like 4 minutes. I can do a 4-minute or throw that in. Futons do be crazy like that. True. I like some of this as well. I'm sorry, I'm reshuffling my position in my chair, bro. Okay. I got my little blinky, my little cozy. Okay. I was thinking about what you said a couple videos ago along the lines of what path does Araragi think he's walking upon, etc., etc. What I like and what, like, true, very true. True that you quoted me. Yes, a true statement. No, okay. This stuff, where, because I feel like with the shrine specifically, and this whole idea of a god specifically, it does kind of, I mean, I kind of took it to Nietzsche a little bit too, just my kind of not super deep, but like, you know, I've done a little bit of reading here and there. I was kind of spinning, you know, being like, oh, maybe we could do something with that too. So I kind of feel that maybe it is projection, but who knows? Maybe the point of the show is to project onto it, huh? Whoa. What is in my mouth? Something's projecting into my mouth right now? Okay, calm yourself. But yeah, okay, let me actually focus. What I like about this is like the idea of like death of a god, and then you like because like I'm not gonna go into the Nietzsche part, but just like the idea of, okay, we lose meaning, death of god, death of the deal. Go read freaking Madman's Parable or whatnot. But after that point, then we're left picking up the scraps, right? Like if there is no god, or if the ideal is perished or whatever, then it's up. Then like what do we do? I mean, we have to do we make a new ideal? Are we equipped to do that? How do we do that? I mean, that's a big thing for Nietzsche, but like the application to Monogatari I find really interesting, just because it's like we have this shrine that's like suffering. I mean, it's cracked, it's broken, it's falling apart. And we have different beings like Shinobu, and then with Nadeko, that are like perhaps going to get put as the god of this shrine, because it was like supposed to be Domo Shinobu, but then it actually happened with Nadeko. So it almost feels to me like, oh, we're like we've had a collapse, right? We've had a death of god or whatnot, but now it's our chance, and that's like the shrine falling into ruin. And now it's our chance to make our own, like do something with the ruins, right? How are we going to pick up the pieces? What are we going to put as the figurehead of our shrine now? That kind of deal. It would make sense why he's so worried about what would happen to the belief if you were to put a new god in there, or perhaps a new ideal. Yeah, like exactly, and like the state of the blah blah blah. The trying to tie it to Araragi. It's like, if what path does Araragi think he's walking on? Does he think he's just doing a meaningless thing? Like, that's a hard thing to do, to like put a new god up there. Like, how do you choose which ideal to use, you know? How do you choose between whatever Shinobu represents and whatever Nadeko represents, and then, I don't know, F it we ball, put Karen up there, right? Just see what happens with her F it we ball philosophy or whatever. And so it's like this arc. I mean, with him like going around, it's almost like he's got just like a census, or like some sort of he's just asking like the same question to a bunch of different people of like, what roads are you walking on? What do roads mean to you? That kind of thing. So it's almost like he's looking for some sort of answer just in the people around him, like some sort of ideal in the people around him, so that he can like use that as some sort of foundation, or use that as some sort of like like deify that in some sort of way, idolize that in some in some kind of way. And specifically saying like the shrine being destroyed might be that whatever Araragi previously believed was destroyed, blah blah blah. One thing I wanted to, so I do think you're cooking, cook emoji, cook emoji, cook emoji. I'm not gonna try to go Freudian with it because I mean, the super ego. Ogi is the super ego. I mean, maybe that would be fun to try to spin something, but I would need to do a refresher course on that stuff before I wanted to try that. But Ogi's the super ego, and who's the id, bro? Who would be the id? I don't know. I don't know who the id would be. Araragi's the ego. He's just a fractured ego. I don't freaking know. But yeah, the what was I about to say? Oh yeah, the shrine. So I like this part of like the state of the shrine being destroyed could signify that whatever Araragi believed in is in shambles and a shadow of what it once was. I like that idea. What if we push it further? What if we even say that something along the lines of like let's try to tie this to the ship of Theseus idea, right? To the shrine of Theseus idea. The shrine of Theseus, where what does the shrine of Theseus part represent if we're going to make this about Araragi, right? I would almost want to say that the translating part, because like we tried to do it with childhood, right? That was a fun idea. But what if we're even saying that like this like new incarnation that the shrine is Araragi's beliefs coming from his parents and going to him, right? Where the previous shrine was all cool or whatever, and now it's being born again on this new mountain, and that's Araragi being born and then having these ideals pushed upon him, right? That's the shrine being constructed on the new mountain. But then maybe it's because the mountain is mixing improperly with the shrine, like whatever those represent, or that for some reason, right, whatever the reason we can get in, we don't really know at this point, the shrine falls into disarray, you know, and in this analogy, it would be like the beliefs that Araragi got from his parents began to fall apart, and then that's what's left in shambles. So, like, yeah, just the idea that the shrine not only represents what Araragi believed in, but that thing that Araragi believed in came from his parents, which is why there's the ship of Theseus idea. And the, like, new building idea. In which case, it's like Araragi is the mountain. You know? What does that mean? I don't freaking know. But yeah, that was just a little, like instead of making it like a child growing up and that being the transformation, we're making it into a parent's beliefs going into their child, right? That's the strat there. That's the play there. Looking at my notes. What transfers over when a building is rebuilt? ? Faith. Who knows? Like what? Yeah, like this right here of like what part of yourself do you have to carry to adulthood? Your beliefs maybe in this case, but or like if we're trying to put it to the parent-child thing, then it's like what parts should someone push onto their children? How should you raise your kid? Blah blah blah. But yeah, so kind of a fun idea. Koyomimonogatari fans specifically, real. New watch order dropped. Only watch Koyomimonogatari. Skip the rest. Ooh, wait, look, that's the episode, Koyomi F8. I did just rewatch Koyomi 8, by the way, before recording, because I was like, I have no idea what happened. Let me do it again. Also, this emoji, so true. Oh, and this one, biting nails. Biting nails in the shock one, best YouTube emojis. Araragi forgot, for real. The moving is considered a lie because it's not the real shrine due to it being built with new materials. Ogi has solved the ship of Theseus. And the North Shirahebi shrine is a lie because it has no god enshrined within it. I like that too. I didn't even think about that one. Or I wasn't like this one. I totally get, but like this one, I was like, ooh, okay, I see what you mean. Ogi. I want Ogi to say some stuff. You know what I mean? Where it's like Ogi has opinions on these kinds of things. Where it's like Ogi says that it's a mistake or whatever. But I'm so curious why Ogi thinks this. I want Ogi to just spit it at me, you know? Ogi be like, hey, this is why this is cringe, you know? As opposed to, this is cringe, right? The actual, like, give me some more, my ogres. Ogres, bro. Yeah. That's the new Poggers emote. It's ogres. Just like me for real. Yeah. So that was some of that. Let's do scroll through of last episode, and then we'll take a little gander at the chapter 1. So the only thing I have immediately off the top for the scroll through is it's a really interesting choice visually that Ogi's on top of the shrine. You know, it almost makes me want to say because Ogi shows up here and immediately walks within it and then climbs up to the top. Like Ogi, first thing Ogi does is gets up there. And what does Ogi say here? What are you doing, Ogi? And Ogi just ignores it. He says like a monkey or maybe a cat, which is almost like, I mean, that's oddity type behavior. Monkey, cat. Yeah, she just freaking ignores the question. But if we're talking about something being the god of the shrine, for Ogi to get on top of the shrine and it's almost like a domination, I stand on your forehead kind of thing. Like the way that the stance. This is you're standing on the head of a beast you've just slain, you know? Ogi, you've slain the shrine. You get what I mean though? So what does this mean? I feel with the talk of the shrine can have a god enshrined within it. It's almost like Ogi is stepping above the gods or is supplanting themselves as the god or something, right? The puppet master behind the god, or I don't know. But being on top is so specific, you know? And Ogi walks up there herself without any care, which just Giga Chads it, you know? So it's dang. Are you trying to be God? Ogi, what are you doing up there? And we literally ask, and then Ogi just starts talking about snakes. Ogi, answer my questions, please. The snake god is a representative. How did snakes even become deified? I mean, she starts deconstructing what is the deification of a snake, almost to say this is the process by which things are deified. I am standing on the building here that deifies things, and I understand the process of deification. It's demystifying it's demystifying deification. That's what Ogi's doing by standing on top of this. Just saying oh, I understand how this all happened. I'm above it. Is that what you think, Ogi? Is that what you're telling me here? You're speaking in riddles? Okay. But yeah, so that was that was a thought I had when I was doing my little pass through again. Also the point on I really liked mountains are the place where gods reside. They say that forcibly bringing together unrelated things produces conflict though, right? That just line has gotta be, that line is so important, you know? What things are unrelated being brought together that's causing conflict? You know, and I feel you could try to make a huge list. I'm not going to worry about that right this second. But just, not only is that line crazy, but Ogi says, please ignore that, in which case Araragi's memory is already throwing that in the recycling bin, right-clicking on it and saying empty recycling bin. He's already forgotten. Stop that! Remember things. You know? And yeah, Sengoku. He also, the distinction of a new, the faith wouldn't be born there, it would be continued, is interesting. Because he says no, it would continue. That was wrong. It wouldn't be born, it would continue. There it is. Saying faith doesn't die. Yeah, they continue to exist. It's in, that's kind of peculiar to me as well, just because it's you can't birth a new god. It would just be a previous thing being chosen. I mean, it's almost you can't, it almost if I want to try to extend it in a crazy way, it'd be oh, Araragi, you can't build a new road. You would just be choosing a road that's already been built, right? And isn't Ogi saying some crazy bars about that? Wait a second. Yeah, that's I feel what Araragi's saying there, in road terms. So I don't know. Which kind of gets into the his whole he has no control at the whims of fate kind of thing of I can only travel roads that were built. I can't build a road myself. But then Ogi, let me move over to that actually real quick. Let me move over to the chapter 1s. I'm gonna real quick actually look at chapter 8 again. So this is chapter 8 just up on the screen. What did you say? Was it or was it not meaningless to build a road that no one will walk down? Grinning cheerfully, Ogi Yoshino, was all too happy to answer my question, but I forgot. I forgot. Yeah, so Ogi is the first one to talk about building a road, right? I don't think anyone else was talking about building a road. Wait, actually, I'm going to go... Give me one segundo. I'm going to go to episode 7, where I think there was a comment talking about that. Or, like, that had the big list of everybody's thing. Right here. Yeah, okay, this right here. So, Hanakawa, there's a road and you walk down it, that's all. It's more like you're walking and suddenly you're someplace else. That's Senjo. Hachikuji, to stop walking. Once you come to a stop, the place ceases to be a road. Kambaru, people can chug along backwards. Roads kind of go multiple directions. You can go up the road or down the road. You can have the escape route, okay? Nadeko, looking at her feet, not actually doing road, like not actually looking around and analyzing the road. Karen, the point is the finish line, like I will run until I drop. Kind of similar to Hachikuji's. Once you come to a stop, that place ceases to be a road, but Karen, it doesn't cease to be a road, it's just that's the end of the road, right? That's the finish line, so that's interesting. And then Tsukihi, built different, there are no roads where I go, but then Ogi comes in and says, what about building roads? Which is like saying, what about making something into the god, right? What about making your own ideals, or choosing your own, like making your own ideal, not choosing from a list, you know, or something like that. Crazy. I mean... that's obviously very insane, but obviously very insane. That's the commentary we're here for, boys and girls. Let's go. Okay. I'm going to go to Koyomi 9. Let's go to Koyomi 9. Page 1. On the screen? Okay. Koyomi Torus. What is a Torus? I don't know that. Is that a bull? Is that a bull? I think that's spelled different as a bull, is it not? Like Tourous. Torus. A Torus. What is a Torus? Is it a bowl? Shinobu donut. Hi, Shinobu. Yeah, it's a golden chocolate donut. Well, it's not even, it's a red sprinkled donut, but. December 12th. Oh, are we gonna just straight up ask Shinobu? Oh, we're gonna ask Shinobu. Okay. Shinobu, what's a Torus? Wow, yeah, I didn't even think we haven't asked Shinobu. That's kind of a fun point. Okay. Shinobu, please enlighten me. How long is this one? Ooh, kind of long one, 3 full pages. Okay. Let me actually take a sip from my Dr. Pepper cream soda. This is about to have a hiss to it. Ready? Ready? Oh my god. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. I haven't opened this boy in a minute. This was so delightful. This one specifically is so delightful. What a wonderful day to be me. Okay, let me put that book up on my high shelf. Okay. For Shinobu Oshino, to speak of a road was once to speak of the road at night. And, as supreme ruler of the darkest hours, the night road was the royal road of the immortal king of aberrations. What are we talking about? What? That's all in the past now, of course. Way in the past, and our current domain consists solely of my shadow, an area not even 10 feet square. I'm pretty sure that's a source of a bit, or a great deal of disgruntlement from Shinobu, but at present, I've yet to receive any formal complaints regarding the matter. I mean, she got an entire, sofa, futon, couch in your shadow, bro. Isn't she chilling in there? But no, I get what you mean. For those possessed of an absolute confidence in themselves, maybe the amount of property they own isn't much of a problem. Well, it might be a problem, but whatever problems might arise, whatever they might lack, as long as they have themselves, they're able to deal with it. Even if they should lose their power. Even if they should lose that which defines them. Even then, as long as they have themselves. Verily, the road at night be no cause for alarm to one such as I. 'Tis rather the noonday road with its blazing orb hanging overhead that presents a danger. She said this to me on the roof of that abandoned building, back when she was not a pseudo-vampire, not the dregs of a vampire, nor the shadow of her former self, but a full-fledged vampire. In other words, back when she was still the iron-blooded, hot-blooded, yet cold-blooded vampire known as Kishot, a Celurion Heart Under Blade. A vampire speaking of the risks of the noonday sun. Well, yeah, almost too typical. While people like me, Meme Oshino, and the Bro, please! And the triumvirate of vampire experts were certainly her enemies. Never has she had a greater natural enemy than the sun. Okay, fair. So the fact that losing her power paradoxically meant that she could now walk around in broad daylight must have been something of an unexpected windfall. No, to collect that windfall, she'd had to give up something much greater. Silver lining. So it's probably a little weird to talk about it in such positive terms. Silver lining. And yet, on the night road, the next step is ever shrouded in darkness, an unseen path. Canst truly call a path unseen a path at all. She said some such thing. True, for a road to function as a road, it has to be clearly delineated. Simply defining it isn't enough. You know one when you see one seems like an appropriate requirement for a path. If someone told you afterwards that the ground you'd been traversing was in fact this or that road, it'd leave you cold, right? To put it another way, so long as you walk with your eyes closed, whatever path you may be on isn't functioning as one. It's just the ground. Ugh! It's not a road, no matter how unwavering it might be. This is why he didn't want to talk to Nadeko, bro. About the road stuff. That's precisely why. The streetlights come on at night, so you don't lose sight of the road, or so you don't encounter aberrations. Streetlights, thou sayest. The night hath long since lost its darkness, came the vampire's irritated reply. Well, it's understandable that she'd be irritated, given that a reduction in darkness diminished her territory. It might not be a problem, but her domain was still being invaded. The darkness. These things are never extinguished. In fact, extinguishment creates the dark and darkness. And yet, of old, 'twas not but the moon that illuminated the roads at night. The perfect disk of the moon. Unfortunately, the moon wasn't full that night. Nevertheless, she gazed with longing at the sky, at the night sky, illuminating the night road. Illumined. There was no T. I've never heard the word illumined before. Sorry, that's just crazy to me. 'Twas not the moon that illumined the roads at night? Whoa! Okay, heard. So, wait. Read that again. These darknesses are never extinguished. In fact, extinguishment creates the dark and darkness, and yet, of old 'twas not the moon, but the moon that illumined the roads at night, the perfect disk of the moon. Unfortunately, the moon wasn't full that night. Nevertheless, she gazed with longing at the sky. The night sky illuminating the night road. Thank you. Okay, so crazy. The point of it's not a road if you're walking with your eyes closed. I mean, that's exactly why, as I said, Aragi is not going to ask Nadeko about the roads because he doesn't think that Nadeko's really... I mean, she's only looking at her feet, which is pretty equivalent to walking with your eyes closed, right? You're not looking around. You're not actually using the road for anything. So why ask her about what she thinks of roads when Aragi doesn't think that she's even on... Like, she even is really on one. For a road to function as a road, it has to be clearly delineated. Simply defining it isn't enough. Huh. Like, you need to see the road for it to be a road. Like, you need to see the path before you for you to be following the path. Otherwise, you're just kind of walking. Because I guess there's kind of a fun... Like, if you were to say following a path, then that does connotate that you are, like... There's, like, an intention there of, like, I've chosen this path to follow. Like, you're aware of where you are. Or at least that you're going where the path beckons you. But if you're closing your eyes, then you're not following a path. Like, you're walking with giving no heed to where you're going. Where a path, as per its use, is leading you somewhere. And thus, you are paying heed to where you're going by following it. So if you're not paying heed to that and you're just closing your eyes, then you're not even on a road, really. Or at least you're not treating it like... It's almost like does the road exist if you're not looking at it? I mean, but for the purpose, like, does the purpose of the road exist if you're not using it as a road? Well, then not really, right? Like, I would totally follow that. Yeah. Like, if you walk down a path and then somebody says, well, actually, that was Shinobu Lane that you walked down. Then it's like, okay... But cool, like I didn't walk down it knowing it was Shinobu Lane or caring that it was Shinobu Lane, so who cares that it was Shinobu Lane? It's an interesting point. It'll leave you cold, right? I'm curious what they mean by cold. I don't really, I think, follow what they mean by that. But like I would say leave you like apathetic or leave you like non-caring or leave you like uncaring. I would just use the word uncaring there as like what they're meaning, which is interesting. Huh. Oh, Shinobu. What this property thing was kind of a random way to start. I guess it's kind of... Oh, I guess this is just saying, like, this is... I mean, it's a description of Shinobu, right? Because Shinobu is somebody that lost a great deal of their property, i.e. lost a great deal of their power. But if she were to have absolute confidence in herself, then that wouldn't be... as incredible a problem as it could. and that's why, and then we transitioned that into like Shinobu's take on the matter. So I guess I get that now. The sun as the natural enemy. I mean, I like, we see what they've done with the sun before, or like at least just vampires don't like the sun. I mean, what does the sun represent? You know, I mean, the sun can represent, like, I've heard the sun, like, I don't know, life, ultimate justice, warmth, family. I don't freaking know. I don't know what they mean by the sun, you know, or like what, like, thematically the sun could represent in this case. Well, I guess we've done like Karen before as the sun and the moon with Karen and Tsukihi, so it could be like we could take it there. That's not bad. That like the human, all the things that Karen is, human, bright, just, blam, blam, fire sister, in your face. That's like the kind of antagonist in this case. But I don't know, saying the sun almost seems like greater than, because I mean, there's a distinguishment between her normal enemies of like vampire hunters and then like Oshino, and then the sun. Like the sun is like a natural entity more than a human, right? Or like a vampire hunter, because I know some of them are like half vampire or whatever, right? Episode. So I don't even know about like, I guess you could still apply like the Karen themes to it, but I don't know, something there. Being able to travel is a bit of a windfall, but she had to give up all the power for it. With you there. The streetlights come on at night, so you don't lose sight of the road, or so you don't encounter aberrations. Aberrations, I'm assuming, is oddity. Streetlights, thou sayest, the night hath long since lost its darkness. Why is that bad? You know what I mean? Because a streetlight is like a human-made thing to illuminate the world, as opposed to relying on the natural illumination of the moon. Right? So it's like we've taken away, I mean, just in terms of like how, like the idea of we've taken the darkness away from the night through our own like human machinations and manufacturings represented through the streetlight. I mean, that's fire. Like, I'm here for that. But is that a bad thing? You know, like where do we go with that kind of thing? Yeah. Shinobu. At least we get to talk to some Shinobu. I'm down for some Shinobu action. And the waningness of the moon, right? Where it's sometimes full, sometimes not, right? Because the more full it is, the more light you get. Like a new moon, you get like no light, right? So that's a fun thing to consider. Where it's inconsistent, but I don't know if that inconsistency has any play in like how they're wanting to use it. Okay, well, I say we jump into episode 9. The immortal king of aberrations. You mean queen, okay? The queen of... Okay, I'm sorry. Let's jump to episode 9 of Monogatari. Koyomi Monogatari. Calendar story. Koyomi Torus. I still don't know what a Torus is. So, let's find out. Koyomi episode 9. Let's get going. Shinobu spits some bars. Shinobu, talk to me. In a 3, a 2, a 1. Bang! Wahi, wow! That's that sound effect. Winter workload. Oh, Senjo. What's up, Senjo? Oh, you gonna... Is that Power Man or whatnot? Okay. Good morning, Shinobu. What are you doing? That's a crazy... I've never heard that before. It's always darkest under the sugar stick... Under the freaking... The light. Yay, donuts! Or a candlestick, or whatever she said. That's such a fun little analogy. It's always the darkest under the candlestick. Why did that donut have a clock in it? Huh? Did you home make them? They're not... Senjo made it. Yeah. Are you not gonna want them because they're not Mr. Donut? What's happening here? Aw, what a good girl. Friend. Free donuts. Free donuts. That miser. They're not poisoned. No, they're fine. They're baked with love. Oh my goodness. Excuse me? Excuse me? Excuse me? Excuse me? What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? Huh? What do you mean love turned into poison? Was that... Oh, no, that's... No. Sengoku. Sengoku. That's Sengoku. Right? Because her love turned into a poison for Araragi, blah, blah, blah. Surely, right? Okay. I get it. We're good. Oh, that's what a Torus is. Ah, Torus donut. Whoa, this is... Oh, you're the royal food tester, yeah. Yeah, poison tester, yeah. You're about to be critical of these, yeah. Ponderang Namak Choco Golden. Okay. Shinobu. This is her hyperfixation, bro. She's hyperfixated to donuts. Japantastic, a war clock? Okay. How is it? How is the donut? I'll do the Araragi pose here. Oh wait, that's the wrong one. There we go. Oh, you're gonna praise. True. No, that's fine. Let it happen. No, she has to eat all of the donuts in entirety. She's gonna eat all of them. Exactly. Dude, she's gonna eat all of them, bro. Yeah. Exactly. Blue fire versus red fire? Avatar reference? Holy crap. It's the final Agni. That's funny. Okay. That's so funny. Never mind. Okay. Ooh, wow. Yeah. You were not able to talk to, negotiate with Nadeko that well. Holy. Called out. Secrecy. Mmm. Just hide it better, forehead. But he's supposed to be able to trust you with the donuts, girl. Or sure, yeah, sure. Wow, Shirley. Why are they doing these clocks? Why are clocks everywhere? What is up with the clocks? I guess they're talking about... They're doing 5 minutes now. I just get PTSD when I see clocks ever since that one episode. Okay, hide and go donut. Hide and go donut. Hide and go donut. Wow. But what does he get if he wins? But what if he gets in it? He's down 4 donuts just by you grabbing them. She's just gonna eat them all. Okay. A blindfold? Okay, dude. We're gonna use the tights? Yeah? What, is that supposed to be the blindfold? Aragi, no. No, don't put those on your head. That's what I'm saying. What is it? She's on a desert voyage. She used the leggings as a blindfold. Brutal. What? Oh, you're coping. That you did. Yeah, you did that. That was Freudian slip. The bed, the drawer, and the cupboard. Oh, it was stuck to the room. Dang, look at Hanakawa on her journey. Life of Pi. She got cowboy boots on. What is that? She hide one. Yeah, in a donut and another donut. It didn't look like the sizes would work, but eyeballing it. Oh, like rip it open? He's making cup ramen. Oh, wow. Kitties! But then she can't eat it. Yeah, but then can she eat it? Can she phantom manifest in his stomach to eat the donut? I don't know if she would want to do that. I guess maybe that wasn't her objective. Yeah. Cart before the horse. Oh, swimsuit episode. Stop trying to distract me. I'm trying to read the text, Hanakawa. She loved you, so you got to eat all the donuts. Okay, got you. Jeez, Hanakawa. I'm trying to watch the show, man. Like the crazy part is I was good, bro. I was reading the subtitles, but then she kept getting lower and lower, and then it was on top of the subtitles, and I can't read the subtitles if Hanakawa's in the way. Holy crap. That one was so different than the other Koyomi episodes. There wasn't like a myth, right? There wasn't like a myth with a punchline. Well, I guess the punchline was that where did she hide the donut? I guess that was kind of the question, but I don't know. It feels like most of the other ones had some sort of like myth or story, not just like a game, right? Because I mean, I guess I could just see that as like a showing of her love, right? And her being selfless for Araragi. Whereas like he ate the donut, but he didn't even know. But it's also like, if he didn't know that he ate the donut, then did he really eat the donut? Like, he only enjoyed 3 donuts, but he ate 4. So how much love was really shared there? You get what I mean? I don't know. It almost feels like a little like self-defeating a little bit. Where it's like, oh, I secretly gave you a gift, but then you use the gift up without realizing that you even had it, and you know, like you didn't get to experience it. However, Araragi did get to experience realizing that she had done that for him, so I guess that's a dub. But yeah, this clock. Stop mixing clocks and donuts. What was the context for that first one? It just kind of happened. What? I'm been saying, bro. I'm scared of clocks. Okay. Let me rewatch this ending scene just so I can catch the dialogue. Like right here. She just going swimming. Abandoning her motives and personal gain to show her love was the idea. Not taking into account her own self-centered opinions. That was the expression of love in the move. Being completely selfless even at the risk of one's life. I mean, it's crazy. We're describing this as love, right? Being selfless at the risk of one's life. That's the point. Negotiation, secrecy. No, it's love. Aw, she's so cozy, bro. That is so sweet. It's like it's almost like still bad though. I think this point of quote being completely selfless even at the risk of one's life. I mean, that's what like Araragi's tries to do like literally every day of every arc of every second. You know what I mean? He's constantly risking his own life, trying to prove himself selfless. What, as a desperate attempt to like show love or something? Like defining that as love, it almost feels like rationalizing Araragi's behavior or something. You kind of get what I mean? Where it's like, yeah, this is self-destructive, but I'm doing it out of love, which makes it okay. Like, I'm worried if that's kind of the direction that that Araragi could take with Shinobu, like this idea that Shinobu's kind of given to him. Because he does do this thing of, like, at least on a surface level, throwing away his, well, it's like weird. It's like he's not throwing away his personal motives by like sacrificing himself, because I think his personal motives is to sacrifice himself, you know? So, like, burning her motives and personal gain. I guess personal gain, like, what's to be gained from sacrificing yourself, right? Self-martyring. Her own what opinions? I'm so sorry. Self-centered opinions. Yeah. Where it's like Araragi like, I feel like saying this to Araragi and making about love, which has a very positive connotation, is risky, because Araragi, I feel like, is desperate to get away from his self and, you know, doesn't want to take responsibility for that, and that's part of why he's like sacrificing himself and like giving himself to others in this way of risking his own life. So to see Shinobu do that for him makes a lot of sense, because I think that's one thing that like the death desire is something that the two of them share, like, have in common. That's kind of the point of Kizu in a lot of ways. So for her to be doing it, I think makes a lot of sense. It's just the ramifications of this being like integrated or internalized by Araragi would be a little risky to me. I love Hanakawa. She is so sweet. Look at her go. Look at her and her tiger stripes go, bro. Hanakawa's sweep, bro. Hanakawa's sweep. Well, dang, I want more Senjo Gahara in these episodes, man. Give me more Senjo. We get like 2 seconds of her like baking as a background, and that's all. Bro, I want some Senjo action, man. But yeah. I mean, okay. So, is there really much else with this one? It was weird. Like, I feel like most of this was a meme, which is fine. Which is totally fine. I mean, that's how Monogatari goes. Where it's like 80% a meme, but then 20% of the meme randomly is really important, or like has a lot of like depth to it. And so it's like you're constantly trying to like cut through the fat. Let me catch this thing on time again. Oh wait, no, it's just the rules of the game. It's literally just like, give me 5 minutes to hide this stuff. And he sits there with her, like, leggings. I did find it weird she was wearing leggings. I did notice that. I guess I figured out why she's wearing leggings is so that she could take it off and we could use it as a blindfold. Okay. The whole, like, non-seeing, averting, like, I want to say like averting your eyes, but like the thing from chapter 1 of like we can't see the road ahead of us because it's night. I mean, Araragi purposefully blinds himself using the leggings to play the game with Shinobu, which is an expression of Shinobu's love for him. So it's like this is a reason that like being blinded in this instance was like positive, you know? So it's not like being blinded always is bad. So could we like say that like walking down a road at night, walking down a road not knowing where it leads but knowing it leads somewhere, that can be good? Because I mean that's kind of the fun thing where like walking down a road but closing your eyes and not knowing where you're walking was kind of like that was to be said to you're not walking down a road, like it's not a road. What's in my throat, man? Okay, get out of there. No, but like if I close my eyes, then I don't even know that I'm on a path, so it's not a path. But if it's nighttime, then I'm aware I'm on a path, I just don't know where it goes. Like those are distinct. Because there's the difference of I don't even know I'm on a path, and I know I'm on a path, I just don't know where it leads. But like it leads somewhere because it's a path. Whereas just walking around with your eyes closed doesn't necessarily lead anywhere specific, right? Like we know this path leads somewhere, we just don't know where. So yeah, that's a cool distinguishment to make. I don't know how to apply it. I'm literally just taking things out of a drawer and like it's, dude, I'm trying to crack open like the hardest to open can of all time, and I don't have a can opener, so I'm like taking out, I'm like sharpening a knife, and I'm like, well, nope, this doesn't quite work. And now it's like, okay, throw that aside, let me get a fork, and ching ching ching, okay, nope, doesn't quite work. I don't know which can to open. I don't know what to open with these tools, man. Funny trick though with the donut in the donut. Donut in the donut. And don't put the leggings in your mouth. That's unhygienic. Gross. Whose donut is in the donut? Ogi is in Araragi's donut. The donut hidden in the donut. I don't know, bro. I got nowhere to go with this donut thing. It's what it is. The expression of love is worrying, like I said. Her befriending cats is even more fun because she was Tsubasa Cat. Didn't even think of that. The Torus being like, she was able to hide it because it was a Torus, right? Because it was like baked in that. It was probably this black one in the top right. Black with the white filling. Black Hanakawa was a white cat that was inside of normal Hanakawa with the black hair. The real devil was inside the cream. I don't know, bro. Yeah. It's also a lie, though. It's a lie to show love. You could turn it into a lie thing to try to apply it to Ogi stuff, where hiding the donut in the donut, even as an expression of love, is an expression of love that's done through, like, deception. Yeah, so that would, Ogi would be like, that's still wrong. And then Ogi, what would happen is, Ogi would like hear the situation, hear that Araragi has swallowed the donut, and then immediately ram her hand down Araragi's throat to force the vomit reflex, force the gag reflex, so that Araragi vomits it up because he's not allowed to eat something that he didn't know he ate. Bam! Yeah. Okay. I thought dude, I guess that's all I got for this episode. I feel like it was a bit more of a chiller episode. I mean, there's no Ogi walking around making me literally lose my mind. I like the secrecy. Dang, yeah. Of course, we'll give it a pass on next episode. It was fun how they did they did the subtitles a little different when he quoted like what Shinobu could say. I thought that was kind of fun. We haven't really seen that before in like the actual show, so that was kind of fun to see. Araragi, you really like to do anything but study, huh? You'd rather play donut games? Nah, that's fair. It's funny, dude. Sencho literally gave him the donuts so that he would study, and then instead he starts playing hide and go donut with Shinobu. Real behavior. Has he studied anything on his own time? A great question. But yeah, that's I think I really got for this one, episode 9 of Koyomimonogatari. On to the next episode 10 should be exciting. Of course. If you like the video, subscribe. If you're a new, blah, 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 comment down below if you have anything to say. Or join the Discord and talk to me other freaking Koyomimonogatari fans there. Specifically Koyomimonogatari only. Thank you very much. But until the next episode, that's all I got for this one. On to the next. I'll be seeing you then. Peace.